In the book of Revelation, Jesus Christ is presented as the central and defining figure through whom God's redemptive, judicial, and eschatological purposes are revealed and fulfilled, encompassing themes of divine sacrifice, sovereign judgment, victorious kingship, and eternal reconciliation. From the outset, Jesus is identified as the Alpha and Omega, the first and the last, a title that underscores his eternal nature, sovereignty over all of creation, and active involvement in orchestrating the divine plan from its inception to its consummation. This title emphasizes his authority over time, space, and the ultimate destiny of humanity, positioning him as both the creator and the consummator of all things. Revelation vividly portrays him in his glorified state in Revelation 1:12-16, using powerful and symbolic imagery to emphasize his divine majesty, holiness, and power. His eyes blaze like fire, representing his omniscience and piercing ability to judge the hearts and deeds of humanity, while his voice thunders like rushing waters, symbolizing his commanding and inescapable authority. The sharp, double-edged sword proceeding from his mouth signifies the potency and precision of his word, which serves as the ultimate standard of truth and justice. His face shines like the sun in its full brilliance, a testament to his unmatched glory and righteousness, and his golden sash and white robe signify his priestly role, interceding on behalf of believers. This majestic portrayal establishes Jesus as the rightful judge and sovereign over the unfolding events of the end times. Among Revelation's most iconic and theologically profound depictions of Jesus is his role as the Lamb who was slain, a central image that encapsulates his redemptive mission. The imagery of the Lamb draws deeply from Old Testament sacrificial themes, particularly the Passover Lamb, presenting Jesus as the ultimate atoning sacrifice who reconciles humanity to God through his death. The Lamb is described as having been slain yet standing, a paradoxical image that underscores both his sacrificial death and triumphant resurrection, demonstrating that through his self-giving love, he has conquered sin and death. This victory grants him the unique authority to open the sealed scroll in Revelation 5, a symbol of God's sovereign plan for history and its final culmination. Only the Lamb is deemed worthy to open the scroll, highlighting the centrality of his redemptive work in the fulfillment of God's purposes. The heavenly hosts and all of creation join in worship of the Lamb, offering a powerful affirmation of his divinity and the universal scope of his redemptive mission. Alongside the Lamb, Jesus is also portrayed as the Lion of Judah, a title rich with messianic significance, symbolizing his royal lineage, strength, and authority as the promised king who fulfills God's covenantal promises. This juxtaposition of the Lamb and the Lion captures the dual aspects of Jesus' mission. As the Lamb, he redeems humanity through self-sacrifice, and as the Lion, he reigns with divine power and majesty, executing judgment and establishing his eternal kingdom. These dual roles converge in Jesus' function as the righteous judge, a prominent theme throughout Revelation. His authority to judge is vividly depicted in Revelation 19:11-16, where he is shown riding a white horse, a symbol of victory and purity, leading the heavenly armies to execute divine justice and bring about the final defeat of evil. His robe dipped in blood is a poignant reminder of his own sacrifice, while the sharp sword from his mouth once again emphasizes the power of his word to judge and conquer. As judge, Jesus not only brings retribution upon the unrepentant, but also vindicates the faithful, ensuring the triumph of righteousness over evil. This judgment culminates in the ultimate defeat of Satan, the beast, and the false prophets, underscoring the inevitability of divine justice and the moral perfection of his reign. Moreover, Jesus' judgment clears the way for the renewal and restoration of creation, preparing the stage for the new heaven and new earth. Another deeply significant aspect of Jesus' role in Revelation is his depiction as the bridegroom, reflecting his covenantal relationship with the church, which is portrayed as his bride. The marriage supper of the Lamb in Revelation 19:6-9 symbolizes the joyous consummation of this relationship, highlighting themes of love, faithfulness, and eternal union. The bride, described as being clothed in fine linen, represents the righteousness of the saints, made possible through Christ's redemptive work. This union between Christ and the church signifies the fulfillment of God's promises, offering believers the hope of eternal communion and fellowship with Him in a restored and perfect creation. Jesus' role as the bridegroom is a profound testament to the depth of God's love for His people, a love that transcends human failure in eternal joy and intimacy. Additionally, Jesus is depicted as the triumphant warrior king in Revelation 19:11-21, where he leads the armies of heaven into the climactic battle against the forces of evil. Riding a white horse, with many crowns on his head symbolizing his supreme authority, he is described as faithful and true, a name that affirms his unwavering commitment to justice and truth. His robe is dipped in blood, representing his sacrificial victory, and his name, which no one knows but himself, signifies the mystery and majesty of his divine identity. As the divine warrior, Jesus defeats all opposition, including the beast, the kings of the earth, and their armies, paving the way for the establishment of his eternal reign. This portrayal fulfills Old Testament prophecies of the Messiah as a conquering king and underscores the inevitability of his victory over all evil. The culmination of Jesus' role in Revelation is found in the vision of the new heaven and new earth, where God dwells with humanity, erasing all suffering, tears, and death. In this eternal kingdom, Jesus' identity as the Alpha and Omega is fully realized as he brings God's redemptive plan to its ultimate fulfillment and establishes perfect communion between God and his people. His role as King of Kings and Lord of Lords underscores his supreme authority and the eternal nature of his reign, characterized by justice, peace, and the complete restoration of creation. The New Jerusalem, described as the dwelling place of God with humanity, reflects the fulfillment of all that Jesus accomplished through his life, death, resurrection, and victorious return. From his initial messages to the seven churches, where he offers correction, encouragement, and promises of reward, to his climactic return as the victorious King, Jesus remains the focal point of Revelation's narrative. His multifaceted roles as Redeemer, Judge, King, Bridegroom, and Warrior converge to present a comprehensive and awe-inspiring picture of God's justice, mercy, and love. Through his sacrifice, judgment, and ultimate victory, Jesus fulfills God's purposes, offering believers the assurance of eternal life and the hope of a restored creation. His identity as the Alpha and Omega encapsulates his eternal nature and his active role in bringing God's divine plan to fruition, making him the cornerstone of Revelation's vision of redemption, justice, and eternal glory.